Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your viewing environment. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, broadcasting from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio to address whatever topics you might like to discuss, whatever issues of life you find challenging or that you find difficult to navigate. We are here because God is concerned about that which concerns you. So you can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships. Whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind, we are here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable, artesian aquifer where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery. And you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just water, it's Fiji Water at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who continue giving on the Give segment of our app to support the broadcast, and those of you that have made a weekly or monthly commitment to support the broadcast by giving on the contribution pages of our website at, first of all, our app at New Life-Delaware, and those of you who contribute on our contribution pages at newlifeministriesinternational.com or newlifeinternationalcdc.com. We thank you for your support and for your commitment as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. And I want to remind all of our listeners and viewers that we are Facebook Live, we are YouTube Live, we are RadioFreeNetwork.com Live. You can go to RadioFreeNetwork.com, click on radio, the drop box will appear, click on the New Life link, and every broadcast will be available to you. So I also want to say to all of you who tuned in yesterday for the Sunday sermon, and for those of you who attempted to tune in on YouTube, I know we were live on Facebook, I know we were live on our app, we were live on our website, we were live at RadioFreeNetwork.com. However, due to the daylight savings times, there appeared to be some glitch in the technology system for YouTube, and so therefore you saw posting for us to go live, but it did not go live, and at least hasn't gone yet. So we'll be following up on that, but we thank you for tuning in to hear from God what we can do to enhance the quality of our lives. So if you're in our area, every Sunday morning, we invite you to come and worship with us at New Life Christian Center, 400 Hillcrest Avenue in Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. And there's parking on Hillcrest. We are the brown brick building located right on the corner of Hillcrest and Marsh Road. Service begins at 10 a.m. Come and experience a better quality of life. And then, as always, for those of you who are not in our area, you can tune in at 10:45 a.m. every Sunday morning when the Sunday sermon goes live. I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you are an empty nest for the very first time in your life. However, this has brought about some major changes, and you want to know, how do you ensure that those changes do not disrupt your life? So, you know, it's very interesting. And first of all, I'll say to you, congratulations, to God be the glory. We know what that's like to be an empty nest, and be thankful that our adult children are living their own lives in their own residence, and everyone is healthy and well. So that's what you can give God glory for. That's what you can praise the Lord for. Your concern is that you're making major changes because you've empty nest. And here's what I'm going to say to you to be mindful of. Do not make changes just for the sake of making change. It's not necessary to disrupt the quality of your life by just making changes. And you indicated some major changes God allowed me to see in that secret places of your life as I was prayerful about this, what those changes look like. And, you know, you've already made the decision to make a change in your career. You've made it, your spouse has made a decision to make a change in his career. You all are making changes because you're so accustomed, and let me say this, for all of our listeners and viewers, when you empty nest, one of the challenges for most people is that because for so long we've put all of our energy into the well-being of our children, in addition to working our careers and building a quality of life, we put in so much effort into making certain that our children are not only safe and well, but that they too enjoy a great quality of life. We put a lot of effort into that. And what happens, and you spend a lot of energy doing that. You spend a lot of energy when they're growing up, making certain that they get to, you know, soccer practice and band practice and football practice and basketball practice, or whatever sport they may have been involved, field hockey or whatever it might have been that they were involved in. You know, I don't want to leave out cheerleaders and honor guard. You don't want to have your children missing out on opportunities. So we make sure that we spend a lot of energy on our children when they are dependent and at home. And then what happens is they grow up, they go off to college, they graduate from college, and they begin their careers and their lives. And all of that energy we were expending on our children, we don't know what to do with that energy. Now, I could make some suggestions, but I'll get there in a moment. Here's the reality. The very first thing you want to do is exhale. And you don't want to try to replace the time and energy that we poured into our children with something that is going to require more work. We don't want to do that. That's the first thing. We now have time. You know, you can focus on hobbies, you can focus on charitable work, you can focus on, you know, volunteer efforts and hours. There's a lot of things you could be doing that don't necessarily require you to replace all of the hours and energy that we pour into our children. You might only volunteer for 2 hours on a weekend. You might only volunteer to do some charitable work 1 week out of the month. 1 week out of the year. You've got to pace yourself and decide where you're going to give that energy, because remember, you've been doing this now for 21, 22 years. You now want to be able to, you know, I said take up a hobby. You want to be able to maybe visit museums that you haven't visited. You want to be able to do some things, but you don't want to replace the hours and energies with something else that's going to require you to do some work. And in addition to that, you don't want to just suddenly say, okay, now that I've gotten everybody out of my household, that gives me the opportunity to change careers. You don't want to do that because you're proficient in your career. You are successful in your career. So you want to make sure that you maximize that success before you ever move on to something else. And the same thing's happening with your spouse. So you all are really making major changes just for the sake of making changes. You're making changes because you're not really sure where to spend that additional time or energy, because the children are now gone. They've now graduated from college. They're now young adults. I want to encourage you to do this. Just exhale. Put the brakes on with all the things major changes that you've been making. Put the brakes on. And allow yourself some time to exhale, first of all. And then strategically decide, what changes can I make that will enhance the quality of my life? Not what changes can I make just because I'm bored and I need to make some changes? What changes can I make that will enhance the quality? And it's you and your husband. So what changes can the two of you make that will enhance the quality of your life? What does that really look like for you? So strategically, sit down and map out, what does that really look like for you when you make some minor adjustments opposed to major changes? You know, we all would like to make some minor adjustments in our lives. There's little things that we would like to do in our lives that will enhance the quality of our lives. It gives us a better daily experience, just because it's the benefit of making modifications. Small modifications in our lives. But we can do those things without disrupting the quality of our lives. It's when we make major changes that we find pardon me, the quality of our lives being disrupted. It is important for all of us to continue growing, continue developing, continue making some, as I said, some minor adjustments in the quality of our lives. And that can be as simple as getting more exercise, you know, taking up a hobby like I love golf. Maybe you love tennis. I like tennis, but I love golf. Just getting more exercise, which will improve our health and wellness, which will enhance the quality of our lives. It could be taking up some other type of hobby. You know, you might join an organization where you maybe have a meeting once a month. You can attend that meeting. You can engage with other business minds. There's small changes that we can make that will enhance, let me rephrase that. I like to say small modifications that we can make that will enhance the quality of our lives. What you don't want to do is just because you've empty nest begin to make major changes, because those major changes will, as you said, disrupt your life. And as I said, disrupt the quality of your life. So we've got to be mindful that we don't want to do anything, make any changes in our lives that are going to disrupt the quality of our lives. And for all of our listeners and viewers, let's be mindful of this. We are coming to the end of another year. In less than a week, we will be halfway through the fourth quarter. Time keeps moving on. Time marches on. All we want to do is every year make sure that it's better than the year before. Is that we want to work to do whatever we can to make it better than the year before. In other words, we're just living every year to enhance the quality of our lives, find ways to really notice the enhancement of the quality of our lives. And sometimes, as I said yesterday in the Sunday sermon, are you still struggling? Sometimes it requires us to change people, places, and things. Sometimes it requires us to make those decisions in order for us to get to the next phase. But we don't want to just make change for the sake of making change. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G network. If you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will place you into our queue so that you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest, fastest and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill at T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. I also want to say to all of our listeners and viewers, remember, the first Thursday of every month, so last Thursday, we had with us Rebecca Bouva, licensed and registered dietitian and nutritionist. If you go to her website, BeccaTheDietitian.com, you will see all of the broadcasts. If you look under media, all of the broadcasts that she's done with us, you can go back and review them so you can get some tips on enhancing your health and wellness. You can also see recipes. You'll find a lot of different information that will enhance the quality of your health and wellness. And we want everyone to be whole, health in body, mind, and spirit. We want you to enhance your health and wellness. So every first Thursday of the month, you don't want to miss that, but go to her website at BeccaTheDietitian.com. You will see the insurances that she accepts. Call your insurance company and find out if you can utilize her services as your personal dietitian and nutritionist. BeccaTheDietitian.com. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you are going through a very difficult health experience and your immediate family does not appear to be concerned or supportive at all. And you want to know, how can you get them to be more responsive? So let me say this. I'm going to first address the fact that they're not being responsive to your health concern, and then I'm going to address what God really wants you to do. And in addressing the response of your immediate family, you've got to be aware of this. The reason it's not that they're not concerned about you dealing with this health issue, this health experience, as you said. But, however, you have family members who are dealing with their own stuff. And before you ever became ill, you were aware that they were dealing with their own stuff. And what I mean by that is they're not dealing with stuff that could not have been avoided. They're dealing with stuff that could have been avoided. And people deal with their own stuff on their own time. So you really can't concern yourself about their lack of responsiveness. You have to focus on what you need to do. They're dealing with their own issues. Now, there may be moments in time when they will stop and check on you or call and check on you, but you have to focus on you. You don't need to focus on anyone else. Focus on what you need to do to get through this. You will get through it. God revealed to me in that secret place of your life, you will get through this. You have to be focused on you. And that's all you should focus on. So I'm going to encourage you to, check with your doctor every visit to find out any changes that you might need to make in your diet, any changes that you might need to make while you're going through your procedures. Make those changes. You need to focus on you and only you. You're off from work right now dealing with this issue. So it's okay. You don't have to focus on work. It's nice to keep up with what's going on, talk with some of your colleagues. That's fine. And that's what you should do. However, you've got to focus on just getting back your wellness, getting through this and back to a place of wellness. So I'm going to encourage you again. Follow up on what you might need to change from a diet perspective. Follow up on what you're going to need once you get through this with regard to, exercise, with regard to therapy, whatever you might need. Start doing your research on that. And I'm not suggesting that you stress yourself out by doing that all day long. What I'm suggesting is that you just take a look at what strategy you need to implement moving forward after this is over. Because this will come to an end. And when it comes to an end, you'll need to take necessary steps to restore your health and wellness. I'm going to continue to keep you in my prayers during this time. I'm going to encourage you to do all of the right things. Make certain that you stay hydrated. Make certain that you eliminate the things from your diet that are not conducive for you restoring your health and wellness. Ask your physician. Make certain that you take the necessary steps to improve, to sustain yourself during this process, and then to improve once the process is completed. But focus on you. Don't focus on your family. See, you're using your family's issues or their lack of responsiveness as a place to channel your concerns, your inability to focus just on you because it stresses you out. But you have to focus on you to eliminate some of that stress. You don't need to focus all day long on the illness itself. You need to focus on the implementation strategy once this concludes, once it comes to an end, once you begin to move forward again. If you do that, you won't need to focus on your family's lack of responsiveness. You won't feel neglected. You won't feel any of what you're feeling right now. And that's going to be real important to you. Because they're dealing with their own stuff. They're dealing with their own issues. And you knew before you became ill that they had a lot of issues. You knew that. So really you can't expect them to be responsive. The best that you can expect is for them to check in from time to time. Trust in the Lord and lean not unto your own understanding. Just believe in what God is doing and that you will be restored to great health. And this too will not only pass, but it will come to an end. And we'll continue to pray for you and believe for you and with you that God will heal you and restore you to great health. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you're in any of those areas, stop in at their retail store. They have everything, retail stores, they have everything that a man could possibly need. Shirts for men, ties for men, suits for men, and accessories. If you're not in any of those areas, you can order from Charles Tyrwhitt at ctshirts.com. They will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. And The White Company, located in London, the UK. They also have a store on Fifth Avenue in New York. If you're in New York, stop in at their retail store. They have everything that you could possibly need. They have home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. If you're not in New York, you can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. They too will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that your company is going through a transition. Everyone is very concerned about their position during the transition. So this is a real easy one for me to address because I've seen people go through this over the years often. I've seen people, companies, mergers and acquisitions occur, companies downsize. I've seen a lot of different things over the years. The truth of the matter is, whenever something like this occurs, there's a couple of options that you can pursue. Obviously, one is you can really focus on getting your resume fine-tuned and put your resume out there. Okay, that's fine. You can do that. The other is that you can accept the things that you cannot change the things that you can, and be wise enough to know the difference. So in other words, don't focus on what's going on, focus on the work. If you continue to do the work effectively and efficiently, if you continue to get the work accomplished, if your focus is to make your company as strong as it can possibly become and generate more revenue for your company, if that is your focus, you have already reduced the possibilities of being downsized during a transition. Some things you don't have any control over. But if you present yourself consistently as a team player, that whatever the work is, you're going to get the work done, that you are focused on the long term, not the short term. If you're doing all of those things, you can believe that it automatically reduces the possibility, the percentages of you being downsized. So I'm going to say to you, don't focus on what might happen. Focus on what you can do right now to ensure that the transition goes smoothly. What part can you play, or what can you perform that will help the transition to go more smoothly, seamless? What can you do to ensure that the transition that your company is making is going to be profitable, generating revenue, and is going to be good for all of the employees? What part can you play in that? What role can you perform that will ensure that not only you keep your position, but everyone else around you keeps their position? Now you might say, well, how do I have a part in that when I'm not, I'm in management, but I'm not in leadership? Well, that's the wrong state of mind. Because if you're in management, you're part of the leadership. You may not be serving at an executive leadership level, but you are serving in a management capacity, which means that you're leading other people. If you're leading other people, you have to be able to give them good instruction. You have to be able to guide them. You have to be able to order their steps and ensure that they maximize their potential. So I'm going to, again, say that it's going to be real important for you to accept the things that you cannot change. Change the things that you can change, and be wise enough to know and understand the difference. Some things are, there's an old adage that says some things are above your pay grade, but most things are not, because you're really always working to the next level. So you have to know how important it is for you to participate in the success of your company. And I want to say to you, just know that what God has for you is for you, and what God wants to do in you or through you, He will accomplish. And so I want to say to all of our listeners and viewers, as always, thank you for allowing us to tune in. Thank you for allowing us to come into your viewing environment. 3D, today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast, has been brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com.